morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on overcoming testing anxiety. We are thrilled to have you join us as we explore effective strategies to conquer those nerves and perform your best, not only in tests, but also in your everyday life. Get ready to embark on a journey towards greater confidence and success. I'm Joanna. I'm the UK country manager at Visa Solutions Healthcare, and I'm also a registered nurse, so we kind of share a common background. And also we have here Magda, and she's the Director of International Healthcare Recruitment Europe. Many of you may already be familiar with the face. Magda, come back. You want to say something?
I'm here. I didn't disappear. Yes, I tend to be on almost every webinar. I think I missed the only one. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. I'm super excited to listen to the conversation, and welcome again, everyone. It's good to have you here. So yeah, that's about me.
Thank you. And now, guys, I'm delighted to introduce our special guest today, Sean. He's a renowned expert in the field of overcoming testing anxiety. With his wealth of knowledge and proven strategies, Sean is here to share invaluable insights that will empower you to conquer your fears, your testing fears, and excel. Welcome, Sean.
Welcome. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Super Sean Strategy. I am an RN, US-based. I travel the world as a global nurse, currently in the US by way of the UK, and I love helping nurses. And yes, I am an expert. I am a confidence coach for NCLEX testing, and helping you overcome your NCLEX anxiety is my top specialty. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Sean. And would you be interested in sharing a bit more about yourself and the work that you normally do?
Absolutely, yes. So to date, personally, I have helped over 365 nurses pass their very next NCLEX attempt with my signature method called the Sean strategy. You can find out more about it. We'll leave my information here. But what I do is I help nurses understand what the NCLEX is really asking. I offer a signature method of a strategic way of answering NCLEX questions, and then I help them gain the confidence to know that they've chosen the correct answers. This is how I help nurses pass the NCLEX with confidence. Recently, I've had a nurse who had extreme testing anxiety. This nurse came to me and we cried together on the call. She was telling me that she spent a year in depression from failing her NCLEX for the third time. She even questioned, should she be a nurse anymore? She was thinking of other career fields. After working with me, right now, she is gainfully employed full-time as a registered nurse in her dream position at the dream location she ever wanted to work. And this is why I do what I do. I can't wait to show you the steps that we use in our program to help you overcome anxiety. I can't wait.
Oh, wow, Sean. Thank you for sharing that story. And hopefully you will have many, many more different testimonials for you to share on next webinars, who knows, as well. And I think it's time for us to kick off our interactive session with our first poll question. What do you think?
Let's go.
Great. So I'll go ahead, guys, and I'll launch the poll. So everybody get ready to click on your choice and let's begin. The first poll question is, which stage of the process are you currently in? You need to choose just one of these options. So A, not with VSH, B, interviews, C, CES bond, D, NCLEX training, E, NCLEX schedule, or F, you passed the NCLEX. And you guys go ahead and you just pick the choice that fits you best. And this will provide us with a clearer picture of your current position in the process. So we're just gonna wait a couple of seconds just to gather all the answers. While we wait, Sean, how's the weather like in the USA?
Oh my God. Here on the East Coast in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, the first city in the United States, it is beautiful. Right now, it's probably, I forget the conversion in Celsius, but it's nice sweater weather. Most people outside of the windows have on a sweater or maybe a light jacket. The sun is shining. It's going to be a sunny day. It's beautiful. People are walking their kids to school. It is beautiful.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you. Guys, I see that you're putting your answers in the chat. Okay, so I believe that you also can view the results as well on your screen. So we have 5% that they're not with the VSH, so they just joined us because they received on the social media and they decided this is really important. Hopefully this will make you to join us and apply with us. Then we have 28% under interviews, 21 under CES and Bond, 35 NCLEX training. Look at this, John. 35 are currently on NCLEX training and 12% with NCLEX schedule. This is amazing. And we don't have anyone that passed NCLEX, or at least no one chose that option. So this is fantastic. Thank you everyone. And let's now officially begin this webinar. So our webinar, Sean, it's all about overcoming testing anxiety, right? So I believe that in order to overcome challenges, it's essential to comprehend the reasons behind them. So I have a question for you. How does test anxiety impact a candidate's performance, and what are the main symptoms of testing anxiety?
Joanna, this is a great question. Let's get into it. Let's talk about test anxiety, okay? This is crippling anxiety that affects test performance, okay? The 4 common symptoms of test anxiety show up as physical, emotional, cognitive, the way you think, and behavioral, the way you behave about it, okay? These affect things like your memory, your concentration, and your decision-making abilities. So first, let's get into how it impacts your actual test performance. Imagine this. You put in months of hard work, right? Burning the midnight oil to prepare for the NCLEX, this critical exam that stands between you and your dream nursing career. But when the moment of truth arrives, crippling anxiety takes over. You're not alone. Many graduate nurses, just like you, face the same ordeal with anxiety becoming the elephant in the room during the NCLEX journey. That's why you're here now. See, this isn't just a minor case of pre-exam jitters. It's anxiety that can have a devastating impact on your performance during the test and consequently your entire nursing career. The statistics are alarming. Anxiety significantly hampers your test performance, specifically the NCLEX. I know a lot of you are here because you have not yet passed the NCLEX. We know it's not just about nervousness, it's about how anxiety affects your memory, your concentration, and decision-making skills and abilities, especially when you need them most during the NCLEX. The main symptoms are things like rapid heartbeat, like shallow breathing, nausea, digestive issues, right? When your stomach starts to rumble. There's this overwhelming fear and self-doubt about your own abilities. You have racing thoughts and difficulty concentrating.
No, that's really good. And guys, we want this webinar to be interactive. So for instance, how does anxiety affect you? Tell us in the chat so we can discuss this in here as well. What are your main symptoms when you feel anxious?
Yeah, remember guys, you're not alone in experiencing this test anxiety, right? It's a challenge many nurses candidates face. There are proven methods to overcome it, and that's why you're here. We're going to get into it because with the right tools and knowledge, you can manage your anxiety and excel in the NCLEX. So let us know, what kind of symptoms do you guys have surrounding? Yeah, take a look.
So
Yeah.
we are getting excessive sweating, jitters, diarrhea, sweating, fear. My mind goes blank. And digestive disorders, tachycardia, sweaty hands.
Yeah.
Then the thought is block. Sweating a lot when I'm anxious. Palpitations.
Big one.
Oh, interesting. When I'm very anxious, I stop breathing. For a second. Look. Interesting. Lack of concentration.
Yeah.
Abdominal upsets, headache, lack of sleep.
Loss of appetite. I hear that a lot.
Blank speechless as well. Memory loss.
Blurry
Yes, so they're all, all around kind of the same symptoms, right? Empty-minded. The fear, isn't it, Sean? Fear is one of the main ones as well.
Look at this one. It makes you forget everything you have learned. I can't tell you how many times I hear that. My mind goes blank. It's like I forgot everything that I've learned. Yeah. Frequent visits to the washrooms. Exactly. You just want to do something else other than test. I know that feeling.
Anxiety plays with your emotions by distorting your speed of being focused while attending to questions. And we will talk about this. Interesting. So guys, this is great. Thank you so much for interacting with us. And now that we learn more about common symptoms of testing anxiety, Sean, what are the main common anxiety triggers?
Triggers. This is a good one. Many nurses who face the NCLEX struggle with similar stressors. These triggers can include things like fear of failure. That's like the pressure, when the pressure to pass the NCLEX creates this constant fear of failure that leads to anxiety that then affects your test performance. Triggers like time constraints. This is where there's a feeling like there's never enough time to study, right? Pressure of time. That leads us to a sense of rush and anxiety. Peer judgment, right? Like we don't try to, but sometimes we have concerns about how our peers are performing, and that can add to our stress as we may compare ourselves to others. Triggers like a lack of confidence, right? Doubts about our own abilities can significantly be a source of anxiety. Financial burdens, right? Like there's a cost for the NCLEX. The cost of taking the NCLEX, the prep materials, these can create financial stress. Side note, if you are here on this webinar, please know that this will not be a burden for you because this is completely covered by VSH. We'll get into that. Isolation, feeling alone in your study journey or lacking a support system. This can intensify anxiety. You're welcome. Indecision and procrastination, right? We don't know where to start. We're unsure of what to do, and then we procrastinate. This can lead to what we call last minute anxiety, right? And then there are physical symptoms. This like anxiety can manifest physical symptoms like nausea, headaches, and even panic attacks, right? I see this a lot in the comments, panic attacks, right? Yeah. And these are just
Yeah, this is excellent, Sean. This is excellent. And I'm certain that everyone here has already come across of these triggers in their lives. I have a couple of times, actually. However, I have one more question for you. Do you think is there a tool available for us to identify or recognize our individual triggers?
Yeah, absolutely, right? It's important to recognize your specific anxiety triggers. So hear me out. Here's a quick exercise on how to self-assess. Grab yourself a notebook or a piece of paper, okay? If you don't have one with you right now, don't worry. Hear me out. I'm going to help you. I want you to make a list of situations, thoughts, or feelings that make you feel anxious when it comes to the NCLEX or other tests. I want you to rate the intensity of what each trigger brings you. I want you to rate that on a 1 to 10 scale, where 10 is the most intense. Highlight those triggers that consistently score the highest, okay? Those highlighted triggers, those are your primary anxiety triggers. And those are the ones we're going to focus on managing and reducing throughout this webinar. By identifying these triggers, that's taking an important step in regaining control over your test anxiety. If you're unable to do that right now, don't worry. I've created a tool for you that works in minutes where you can click along and self-assess and get a personalized PDF guide of exactly what your triggers are based on how you scored and exactly how to overcome those and techniques you can use. So stay tuned for that. We'll leave that information as well. Remember, you're not alone in facing this, okay? There's strategies to address this, okay? So we're going to talk about how to tackle that.
Yeah, absolutely. We will give you a link for you to access your own self-assessment test in the end of this webinar. And now that we have a clear understanding of the triggers and we finish kind of this self-assessment test, how about sharing some tips or techniques for tackling test anxiety?
Okay, thank you. Guys, this is why you're here right now. We're talking about how to overcome test anxiety. This is how we do it, okay? We're going to talk about some techniques. We're going to start with a category called mindfulness and relaxation techniques, okay? So the first one is going to be deep breathing. So follow along. One of the simplest and most effective ways is deep breathing. We're going to practice controlled deep breaths because this can calm our nervous system to help us regain focus. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to inhale deeply through our nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold our breath for a count of 4. And then we're going to exhale slowly through our mouths for a count of 4. When we repeat this several times, it will help us feel in control and less overwhelmed or anxious. There's also a technique called progressive muscle relaxation. It's important because physical tension often accompanies anxiety. So progressive muscle relaxation, this is going to be a technique that involves tensing the muscles and relaxing different muscle groups to reduce stress. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to start with our toes and we're going to work our way up to our head. And for each muscle group, we're going to tense those muscles for a few seconds and then release, because this can help us become more aware of physical tension and actively relax our bodies. Bing! Those are mindfulness and relaxation techniques. I have more. May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. Let's talk about guided visualization. Okay, because visualization, right? This is like a powerful tool that can help us reduce anxiety and regain focus. We're going to create mental images of our own success because this is going to boost our confidence and reduce our anxiety. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to find a quiet place. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to picture ourselves walking into the NCLEX, feeling confident and prepared. We're going to visualize answering questions with ease, and maintaining a sense of calm throughout the exam. That's how you do it. Okay. This visualization will get you there. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some cognitive behavioral strategies, right? This is about like how we think about things and how we behave based on how we think about things. So let's start with identifying and challenging negative thoughts. Okay. Because anxiety often stems from negative thoughts and self-doubt. So identifying these and challenging these head on can significantly reduce anxiety. So here's how we're going to do it. Whenever a negative thought arises, follow my pace. I want you to ask yourself, is there any evidence to support it? Like, is this a fact or is it just a fear? I want you to replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations, such as, I am well prepared. I can handle this. I am not behind. I'm on my way, right? I am a nurse. This is me showing up as a nurse, okay? Bing! That's how you do it. All right, I have more. Can I keep going, Joanna?
Keep going, please.
Let's get into some time management and study techniques. Some of my favorites. These are some things you can do. Effective time management can reduce stress and improve productivity. So I want to tell you about a technique called the Pomodoro technique, okay? The Pomodoro technique is a popular method to break your study sessions into manageable intervals, okay? This is important. Here's how you do it. Study for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, take a longer break, okay? Because this structured approach will help you maintain focus and, most importantly, prevent burnout. Here's the bonus tip. For people with short attention spans, right? You can't focus for a long period of time, and 25 minutes sounds really long, especially for NCLEX prep. Do a shorter study session. Do like 15 minutes and then take a break for 5 minutes and then do another 15 minutes, okay? Bing! Let me open another chapter. Let's talk about, thank you. Let's talk about creating a study schedule that works for you. I know there are people in these Facebook groups or wherever you're finding help and support that tell you, do these 15 things, they help. Let me show you how to create this in a way that works for you specifically, okay? Because we need to customize a study schedule that fits our needs and our personal preferences. So a well-organized plan helps reduce stress and feeling overwhelmed. So here's how we're going to do that. Analyze and think about your most productive times of day. And then allocate your most challenging study tasks like NCLEX prep for those periods. Creating a daily or a weekly schedule that balances study time and relaxation is the easiest way to put this in your control, right? We want to study when we are most aware and most with it, right? When we're thinking at our best. And we want to not study when we're stressed or it's relaxed time. We want relaxed time to be relaxed time, and we want focus time to be focus time. And we don't study during relaxed time. And most importantly, we don't relax during focus time, right? Compartmentalize it. This is how you control it. All right.
Before
I could go
the
forever, but I'm going to hand it to you.
Before the panel, Pim, I've got Victor asking, please, can you go over the cognitive behavioral strategy again?
Yes. The cognitive behavioral strategy. Let me go back over that. Yeah. So these are where we're going to identify and challenge negative thoughts, right? So one that I hear from a lot of times from my students, a student will say to me, I looked at that question and both answers look right. How could I possibly know which one is the right answer? Okay, so I'm going to tell you, well, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, the NCLEX is a simple safety test. How about I look for whichever answer keeps a client safe and free from harm and decide, is this the correct answer? If it's not, I'll look at which other answer could prevent harm, right? Because indeed, I don't know if you know this, the NCLEX is a simple safety test. Switching thoughts of I can't and this is hard to I'm open to this being easy and I believe I have what it takes really changes how your brain finds a way. Okay, so in simple terms, if you really want a really good gold nugget takeaway, whenever we focus on what we can gain and learn, solutions will present themselves. However, whenever we focus on what went wrong and what we're not capable of doing, all of a sudden problems present themselves. So if you don't want problems and you're simply looking for solutions, let's simply focus on how can this work? What am I open to believing? What am I open to learning? You will have all the solutions you need. You can do this.
No, this is amazing, Sean. I've mentioned this before to you many, many times, but it's worth repeating all the time. I could honestly listen to you for hours and hours and not get tired of it. Thank you. And thank you for sharing all of these techniques with us. And I've got one more question that probably is on everyone's mind. Could you give us some strategies for approaching and answering NCLEX questions?
Absolutely. Oh my God, this is my favorite thing to talk about for I Am Super Sean strategy. So let's talk about how to approach the different types of NCLEX questions, okay? So knowing how to tackle the various types of questions will boost your confidence during the exam. So let's get right to it. I hope you guys are taking notes. Let's talk about multiple choice questions. You're going to want to, hear me out, read the question carefully, eliminate the obviously wrong answers. Side note, you will know they're wrong because they don't keep a client free from harm. The test is a safety test. You always want to keep a client free from harm. Okay, so again, read the question carefully, eliminate obviously wrong answers, and then select the best option based on your knowledge. Another side note, if you feel you don't know it, you know this stuff. You've gone through nursing school and have proved to a nursing program that you know what it takes. The test is simply asking you, can you be safe around clients with what you do know? And you can. Okay, let's get into another one. The select all that apply. Ooh, right? The boogeyman, the scary one, right? The SATA, right? I like to say, not today, SATA. These select all that apply questions, here's how we're going to tackle those. We're going to evaluate each statement independently, each statement, okay? We're not going to assume that all correct answers are like in a row, right? Like B, C, D, E. They could be any answer, okay? But here's how to know which ones are correct. You ready? This is gold. If the answer choice can apply, it does apply. You don't have to guess, should it have applied? It does. If it can apply, it does apply. Period, point blank. That is gold. Okay, now let's talk about prioritization. the priority questions, right? These are the questions that says, what should a nurse do first? What's the next action? Which priority implementation, for the nurse should take? Here's what we're going to do for those. We're going to, hear me out, this is good. Focus on the patient's immediate needs and safety. And remember, safety is first, okay? Safety is first. If a client is unsafe, it doesn't matter what you do to their medical physiological body. If they're unsafe, they can die. So keep them safe first so that you can address their body. Here is how to know your answer is correct. This is the best thing I've said on this webinar. Listen up. Here's how to know your answer is correct. The answers to priority questions will 100% of the time always treat a compromised vital sign. So in those answers for priority, what should the nurse do first? Choose the answer that treats an unstable symptom. If you see a compromised vital sign in the answer choice, and the answer choice treats it and reverses it, it makes it makes it stable, that 100% is the answer. Because listen to this, when would you not stabilize a vital sign first? You're welcome.
That is amazing, Sean. That is excellent. That's super important tip, to be honest. And everyone, thank you for your active participation in today's webinar. We really enjoyed, and we've covered a lot of valuable information. And now it's your turn to steer the conversation. So we are about to begin the Q&A session, and this is a great opportunity for you to ask questions, seek clarification, or even share your thoughts. So to participate, you simply type your questions into the chat box, and we will do our best to address as many as we can. But before that, we would like to release our second poll question. In here, you please select the most appropriate answer or answers for you. And the question is, what is the biggest challenge for you when it comes to NCLEX? A, English. B, time management during NCLEX preparation. C, overcoming testing anxiety. D, complex medical concepts and content. E, balancing work, life, and study commitments. F, finding effective study resources and material. G, dealing with the fear of failure. And H, staying motivated throughout the NCLEX preparation process. So you guys, you choose the options that are relevant to your situation. And I also can see, Sean, I can see some questions already for you. We will go through those questions.
Yes. Let me know when you're ready.
Yes. This will take maybe a minute because there's different options, so they can choose more than one. This is amazing.
Yes. I am so curious to know what your biggest challenge is when it comes to the NCLEX.
Me too. And we've got Vanessa saying that was an excellent explanation. That was really good. We've got Juliet asking, please recap SATA.
Oh, recap SATA. Okay, let's talk about SATA. So those, can I go? Okay, here it goes.
Go.
The select all that applies, there's two main things you need to know, okay? One is if an answer can apply to the scenario, it does apply, choose it, okay? The NCLEX does not give you options of an answer that can apply and it be the wrong answer. It wants to know what does work. So if an answer selection, right? A, B, C, D, or E. If A can apply correctly, then it does apply. You don't have to go back and think, but is that what we're supposed to do? It's not about what you should have known to do or what you were trained to do. It's about what is safe to do. So if an answer can apply because it's safe and keeps a client free from harm, that's what the NCLEX wants to know that you know. Because the NCLEX wants to know that you can be safe around a client even when you're unaware of the procedure it's asking about, even when you're unaware of the medication it's asking about, even when you're unaware of the medical condition the client has. It wants to know, can you still be safe?
Thank you. That is excellent. So we're just waiting for the results. Oh, and here we got. Once more, you guys should be able to view the results on your screen. And so we have 2% that they chose English, 34% time management during NCLEX preparation, 26% overcoming testing anxiety, 33% of complex medical concepts and content, 54% of balancing work, life, and study commitments, 29% of finding effective study resources and material, 35% fear of failure, and we've got 25% staying motivated through the NCLEX preparation. Do you want to comment these results, Sean?
Yes, let's give a quick win right now for those who chose E. It looks like more than half of the people voted that balancing work, life, and study commitments is their biggest challenge. So let me give you a quick win right now. Hear me out. I know. Let me start by saying I've helped thousands of nurses, okay? Thousands of nurses. I've talked to, personally interviewed thousands of nurses, and I hear this a lot. I know that you are being told you need to study 75 questions a day, 100 questions a day, 150 questions a day, and that takes a lot of time. But I'm here to tell you, as an NCLEX expert, as an NCLEX strategist, as an NCLEX confidence coach, you do not need to. It's actually doing harm to do that. What you should do instead is study maybe 5 to 25 NCLEX questions. I know that sounds extreme. What? No one ever tells me to do that. Why would I do that? That's so few. Let me explain. The point of practicing questions is to see what worked and what didn't work so that you can get it wrong as many times before the NCLEX to predict that on the NCLEX, you get it right. The way we do that is we practice and get questions wrong. Here's what to do with questions you get wrong. I know a lot of you go out and spend even more time reading rationales and relearning the nursing content. I want you to instead, before you do that, is to look at an answer and say, did this answer choice that I selected keep someone safe? Because if it didn't, that's why I got it wrong. It's not about the content. It's, did I not keep the client safe? Remember, the NCLEX is a simple safety test. Now, recapping everything I just said, doing this for 5 to 25 questions a day allows you to stay laser focused on that strategy of better answering questions in the future. You won't need to practice 75 or 150 questions if you know why you're getting them wrong. You'll just get them right more often afterwards and then score high enough to immediately pass the NCLEX. So for those of you who say balancing work, life, and study commitments are your biggest challenges, this is me saying set aside 30 to 60 minutes a day, again, 30 to 60 minutes a day to practice 5 to 25 questions, and then be laser focused on why you got it wrong. And again, the easy way to know why you got it wrong is it didn't keep a client safe. And we just want to focus on safety because the NCLEX is a simple safety test. You got this. You've got this.
That's excellent, Sean. And guys, these results, this is like a brainstorming session for our future webinars, right, Sean? This is giving us ideas already. And we are going to take these findings and use them to shape our upcoming webinars and making them even more exciting and tailored to your preference. So thank you for being part of an integral part of our journey. And let's use these results as a stepping stone to create even more impactful webinars in the future. And now, guys, feel free to share your own experience and concerns. And please, please make an effort to keep your questions relevant to the topic that we are covering today. Sean is here and he can answer your questions. I could see that some of you are already writing some questions. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start now. And the first one that I came across was, how can I overcome the anxiety of thinking that I have not covered what is enough towards the NCLEX day?
Simple answer. You have covered what is enough. Okay. Again, when we focus on what am I lacking, we see problems. When we focus on how can I use what I already know to get this correct, all of a sudden we see a solution. We say, it's a simple safety test. What I do know is all of these questions are asking how to keep a client free from harm. If I just focus on choosing the answer that keeps a client free from harm, then what else is there to know? Bing.
Next question. What can you do when you realize that you are anxious in the middle of the test?
This is where mindfulness and challenging negative thoughts can come in. First, become aware that you're anxious and think about what triggered you. And nine times out of 10, it's a thought. The feeling is that you're anxious. The thought that created that feeling is what we need to challenge. So if the thought is, oh my God, I don't even know what this question is asking, that's a good time to challenge the thought and say, wait a minute, even though I'm not sure what it's asking, I know that no matter what, the answer is to keep a client safe. And because I know that that's the answer, what if I just looked at answers and said, well, this always keeps a client safe and chose that? Guess what? You will be correct. So being mindful and aware of what triggers you, and then stopping and thinking about what thought made me feel anxious and reversing that thought, literally think the opposite. For example, if I'm thinking, this question is hard, my new thought needs to be, I'm open to seeing how this question can be easy for me. And that creates a window of opportunity to see it in an easy format. Bing!
I've got another one. My exam is in 2 weeks. What can be your best advice?
Okay, my best advice, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, my best advice is you know everything you need to know to pass it content-wise, but no fret. It's not even a content test. I know they give you content, but they give you content to ask you about how to be safe with it. So you know what you need to know content-wise to pass the test. And you now know, I know no one else has told you until I just told you, you now know the NCLEX is a simple safety test. Now is a good time to practice NCLEX questions, true NCLEX style questions, not random Facebook group posted questions of people who are not using verified sources. This is a good time to get a true NCLEX prep source of some kind and practice true NCLEX style questions. This is what I do for my members of my program. This is what VSH provides for people who work with them for a nursing career. This is what you're going to want to do and want to practice, okay? The NCLEX is a bunch of questions. We need to practice a bunch of questions. Keep it simple.
Thank you, Sean. And I've got a lot of questions, actually. These two, I think I can join these two. So The question is, what period of preparation makes one feel confident and ready? And the other one is, how do I know that I'm ready to take NCLEX exam? So I think they are kind of together.
Yes, they are. And the answer is the same for both. So this is a quality over quantity effort. Let me explain. If I know how to, like international football, if I know how to kick a ball in the goal, then all I need to do is practice kicking the ball in the goal. I know that sounds simple. Here's how it applies to the NCLEX. If I know how to answer an NCLEX question, well, if I want to take the NCLEX and pass, I need to practice using what I know of how to answer an NCLEX question and practice NCLEX questions with it. I don't need to spend my time watching YouTube, watching other people practice. That doesn't do anything for my skills. I don't need to read a book of how to swing my leg and kick the football, right? I just need to practice it myself. So if your question is, what was that last question? I know they went together. What was the last question?
The last question is, how do I know I'm ready?
How do I know when I'm ready? You will know when you're ready because you would have understood the underlying theme that all NCLEX questions have, which is, how do we keep a client safe? Nurse, what's the safest answer? When you have that aha moment that I'm telling you the NCLEX is providing in the test, then you will know you're ready because every answer you choose that keeps a client safe will be correct and your scores will reflect. Bing!
I think we've got time for one or more two questions. So what's the best way to stay motivated in the run?
This is a wonderful question. Don't forget your why. Don't forget what you're doing this for. A lot of times we get caught up in the chase, the pursuit, the journey, and it feels so defeating at times. It feels so big. It feels so heavy. But remember, the universe, earth, God, whatever you believe in, wouldn't present this desire to be a nurse if there wasn't already a way paved for you to achieve it. So as long as you keep taking steps forward in faith that you can achieve it, you will receive it. Bing! We keep it simple here, guys.
And the last one, we don't have time for more, but one more is, for instance, if you are not familiar with the question or you do not know the topic of the question, for example, a standalone question, what would be the greatest strategy you can give?
You're going to love it because I'm going to sound like a broken record. One, this is what I recommend my students to actually do, is to pretend you don't know the medication, pretend you don't know the medical procedure, pretend you don't know the medical condition, and then say, if I don't know it, what's the safe thing to do because I don't know it? And you will see the answer stand out. If I don't know, watch this, what a long-worded med is, but the question is asking me, how to, the nurse knows to administer the medication at what time. I'm going to say, well, I don't even know what that medication is, but it said it's prescribed oral daily. If you're taking an oral daily medication by your mouth, and I want to know what's best to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you with nothing else but the med. And you will see 3 answer choices will say with meals or with breakfast or at bedtime with dinner. And 1 answer will say on an empty stomach with a full glass of water, like by itself. Right. Meds. If I give you the medicine and only the medicine, that's probably the best time to take it. That's a strategy of how to get a correct answer when you don't even know what the med is. That's the point of the NCLEX. The NCLEX wants to know you're not going to guess and make up stuff in real life, giving people meds you don't know about and saying, here, take this with insert food that would contraindicate the med. Drink it with water and you know there's no drug-to-drug interaction. We keep it simple, guys.
Absolutely. That's the key, isn't it? And everyone, so unfortunately, we don't have more time for questions, but please email your questions, your concerns, and we will respond to each and every inquiry. It might take a couple of days or maybe weeks, but we will surely reply to your questions. And Sean, before we call it a day, I heard that there's a little something special that you've got for our participants today. Would you like to reveal it?
Absolutely. Guys, if you stayed on the call this long and heard everything we talked about, this is for you. As a special bonus, I want to offer you a quick win that you can use right now. So before your next practice test or the actual NCLEX for some of you, I want you to take just a few minutes and complete this guided relaxation exercise we're about to do, okay? I want you to close your eyes. If you're not sitting, find a comfortable place to sit, and I want you to follow along, okay? This is going to help calm your nerves, clear your mind, and get you into the right headspace for success. I want you to take a deep breath through your mouth. Exhale slowly. We're going to do it again. Inhale. Exhale slowly. I want you to plant your feet on the ground, and I want you to tense your feet and relax. You're floating. I want you to tense your lower legs, squeeze your calves, and relax. I want you to tense your upper legs, squeeze your thighs, hold them tight. Now relax. Sit up straight. I want you to squeeze your core, your belly, hold it tight. Now relax. This is about to get good. I want you to tense your chest and your shoulders, squeeze it all together. Now relax. Let's do some head rolls really slowly. Let's turn our necks. It does not matter which direction you're going. Let's do 2 full slow rotations one way, and then we'll reverse after 2 full rotations. I'm about to reverse now. I'm slowly rolling my neck. Oh, this feels great. I'm on my 4th rotation, counterclockwise. Okay. All right. Take one more deep breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Now release. Remember, you can use this exercise whenever you need to reduce anxiety and boost your confidence during your preparation, and especially during your exam on exam day. This is a small but powerful tool you can have in your NCLEX success journey. You can do this.
Absolutely. Sean, thank you. Thank you for being my guest today and sharing your knowledge and experience with all of us. I'm sure everyone here has gained something valuable today, and it's always a joy to have a conversation with you. Thank you. And everyone else, our participants today, thank you for being part of today's webinar on overcoming test anxiety. We've covered a lot, from recognizing triggers to discussing effective strategies. And as we conclude, remember that each one of you has the potential to excel. Test anxiety can be managed, and the success is within your reach. If you have any questions and you wish to share your experience, we are here to help you. You can reach us by email, and we will respond to each and every inquiry. If you are not in the process with us and you are ready to embark on this journey with VSH, you can access our webpage through our QR code, apply, and get started. Someone will get in touch with you at some point. And the next upcoming webinars, so we have the events in the Philippines. The first one is the Nurses Week celebration, and November 13 to 17. And then the other one is the November 24th and November 25th MCNAP Annual Convention in Manila. So everyone, seriously, it was a pleasure being here with you today. And remember, Keep practicing those techniques. Stay focused and believe in yourself. You got this. Until we meet again in next webinar, take care, stay resilient, and keep working towards your goal. Goodbye and best of luck.